All right, and I'm going to mute everyone. So if you have any questions as we go throughout OneNote, feel free to unmute yourself and just chime in. Or if you don't have a microphone, feel free to just use the conversation within our Teams meeting if you have any questions, and Leah will grab that for us. All right, so what is OneNote? So for anyone who hasn't used OneNote yet, it is a great way to organize your notes rather than having your handwritten notes all over the place or kind of just as you use different tools within Microsoft. This is kind of just a central hub that you can go through and just quickly take your notes. It is different from Microsoft Word. I know someone asked that in the questions when they registered, kind of what's the difference between the two. So you're still going to use Microsoft Word as your word processing tool. OneNote is largely just used for it. Think of it as like the notebooks that have like the 5 different sections in them that you kind of want to use the different sections for different things. You're able to do sections. You can also do pages, or you can do different notebooks. So those are just kind of the differences. Here's an example of a notebook. So over on the left-hand side, you're going to see all the different notebooks that you have. So if you want to have one for your personal notes or something for your work notes, and then you can also have one that's shared if you really have private information that you don't want to share with anybody else. That's when you would use the shared notebook instead. And then from each notebook, you're able to add different sections. So like in this example, we have a work notebook, and then here they broke it down to mobile nations, meetings, and reviews. So right now they're on their reviews section, which is highlighted. And then if you drill a little bit deeper, then they have the page laid out. So they have the Blade Pro, Galaxy Book, etc. So you can see that they're currently on the Blade Pro page. And then over on the right-hand side, you can see the Blade Pro up at the top. That's the title. And then it's also when the page was created. So this was from Wednesday, January 18th of 2017 at 2:24 p.m. It's got the timestamp on there. And then here they started to make their list of notes. So when to use OneNote. So like I said, this is largely a great place to keep all your different notes that you have as you go throughout your meetings and do your work. Um, that you can quickly just jot down your notes. And also you can benefit from the search functionality, which we don't have when we just write things down on Post-it notes. But if you use the search functionality, you're able to search throughout your notebook and easily find the text that you were looking for. So one example that I wanted to share with you guys is that at T-Tech-T, we have what's called level 10 meetings that we have every Monday morning. And there's a group of us that get together. We are able to do this. It was first created through Outlook, through the plugin. And when you schedule the new meeting, it's going to give you an option to have meeting notes. So that's going to create the link over to the notebook. And then from there, you have all your different notebooks that you have access to, and it'll just list them over there on the right hand side. And there you're able to add all the different meeting notes. And then we also have a link to our Excel file where we kind of keep track of our progress on different projects and some of the things that we talk about within that meeting. So that's kind of Outlook, OneNote, and Excel all working together to help keep our large group organized. There's always a question about how things are saved. So OneNote does automatically save to the Microsoft Cloud. This is done by default. And unlike other Microsoft applications that you're used to where it started to do the autosave, there is no save command in OneNote. It is manually saving your work as you go. So you don't even have to worry about if you accidentally press the X and you close out of your OneNote notebook. Everything will be saved. And then there's always the concern about who can see your OneNote. So only the people that you give permission to, and this works the same way as every other Microsoft application that you have the little share button up at the top. And then you can type in, if it's someone within your organization, you can just type in their name and they'll populate. Or if it's someone external, you'll have to use their email address, and you would also have to go into the admin center to grant all the permissions and things like that. So there are a few steps to actually get it outside of your organization. So just know that it is well protected, so you don't have to worry about leaking data. So now we'll get into just a couple tips and tricks that we wanted to share with you guys about how this works and hopefully make it a little bit easier. So create a quick note. So this is going to be something that you use to capture a thought on a device. And there are a couple different ways to do this depending which version of the application that you have. So I'm mostly talking today about the OneNote for Windows 10. It comes pre-installed with Windows 10. You don't have to download it from your portal for Office. So, um, so that's going to look a little bit different. And I'm just noting that in case you have Office 2016, let's say, kind of some of these notes are more geared towards just using the Windows 10 version of it. Let's see. So when you create a quick note, it'll ask you which notebook that you want to add it to, and then it'll give you a list of all the different notebooks that you have access to put in your quick note. I think in 2016, there's actually a quick note notebook, and then you're able to go in there, grab it, and put it in the notebook that you want it in. But here you just click the three little dots and then go to settings to get to these options. So as we talked about before, searching across all of your notes. So this comes in really handy as you start to gather a lot of different notes and really start to use your OneNote, that you can just use the little search box up at the top and find the text that you need. And then it'll give you that whole list of here's all the different pages or sections that it found it in. Share your notebook and collaborate in real time. So like I talked about, we use it. I think there's like 6 of us that go to that meeting every Monday morning, and we all have our OneNote notebook pulled up, and we're able to go in and we can edit it if we want individually, or if we just want to talk about it while we're on our Teams call, we can do that as well. But we can see when someone's making an edit to it. And to do that, just use the little drop down, share the notebook under the email invitation. Then you can type in the email address, and then you can also set the permissions if you want them to be able to edit, or if you just want them to be able to view it. Then just click share and it'll send it out. Draw and write handwritten notes for clarity. Or sorry, draw and handwrite notes for clarity. So this is something that if you like to draw on your screen, you can either use a stylus, like if you have a, let's say a Microsoft Surface that you use, you can use the pen. And if you want to change the stylus settings, you're still going to do that through Windows, and then OneNote will pick that up. Or also as you're writing your notes, if you have something that you want to highlight, let's say you want to circle it in red pen, you're able to go to the draw tab and select which tool you want to use and just draw a circle around it. And then if you also need help, this ink to shape comes in really handy and actually makes your circle look like a circle if you just quickly squiggle over it. Use tags to categorize and prioritize your notes. So by default, it comes with all these different tags. So there's the to-do, important, question, remember for later, definition, used in this notebook, and create new tag if you want to create your own custom tag. And the whole goal of using the tags is to quickly return to your important items, set reminders for yourself, filter on notes you'd like to share with others, and tag anything from a single line or a paragraph. So when you do the tags, it's going to highlight the text for you so that you know that it's been tagged. You're also able to filter on any tags that you already have set up. Just go to your home tab and drop down your tags. So some keyboard shortcuts. I know a lot of people like to know how to quickly get these things done and which keyboard shortcuts they can use to, let's say, um, open the insert tab or things like that. And there are a ton more keyboard shortcuts that you can use. So if you go out to Microsoft site and just search for the keyboard shortcuts, a lot of them, I think they do it just the same across all, like Control O is always for open a new document or a notebook in this case. Change your paper style and color. So if you go to view and go to page color or rule lines, that is going to give you the different options that they have kind of built into OneNote. So if you want to give your OneNote a little bit of a different look other than that blank white canvas when you first open OneNote, you can do that just by going to these two settings and just select, like if you want to use the ruler lines or if you want it to be whatever, color that you have for your business, you can do that from here. Use dark mode. So these screenshots are set with the dark mode. So if you like looking at the black screen instead of doing the white canvas, you can go in here. You have a couple of different options if you want. So again, when you have your OneNote open, just click the three little dots up at the top right-hand corner and go to settings and then go to options. And that's going to bring up this option to set the color so you can set it to what you like. Password protect your section. So again, going back to the privacy, making sure that people can't see your data, or if you have people that you don't want to be able to edit certain sections of your notebook, you can go through and you can set the permissions and kind of keep people out of it. And you can also set it up so it can lock all your different private sections all at one time. So to do that, right click on within the notebook section that you want to protect and then choose password protection and add a password. I do want to point out this note down here at the bottom. Choose your password carefully. If you forget your password, no one will be able to unlock your notes for you, not even Microsoft technical support. So make sure that you're using some kind of password management tool um, to keep track of your passwords so you don't lock yourself out. Split up two sessions of OneNote into two windows. So this kind of goes back to a lot of like the different windows that we use for Windows 10 and how they're starting to get a lot of the apps so that they have that pop-out window. It's kind of the same thing that you can have like two different screens open at the same time so that it kind of easily allows you to multitask. Does anyone have any questions so far? Feel free to unmute yourself if you want, or Leah, if you can check the conversations.
Katie, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have an Android device that, if I knew how to access it, I could use a pen on.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to find the menu that shows me the different options like it does when I'm using my desktop or laptop computer. Can you help me?
Is that on the Android itself or is that within OneNote?
I've got OneNote up on my tablet right now.
Okay. Are you able to use your stylus for other programs? Or do we need to add your stylus to the phone?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've not really used it. I have experimented very briefly with OneNote over the last couple of years and have gotten frustrated with it, and that's one reason why I logged in today, because I want to use it, but I'm just kind of flummoxed on how to do what I want. So
Okay. If you want, I'll give you a call when this webinar is over and let's figure out if your stylus is set up already for your phone. And then if it is, then we know to look at OneNote and figure out how to get it added.
okay,
Does that
thanks.
work for you?
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me make a note real quick. Okay. Any other questions so far? All right, so I think this is pretty cool. And I wish this would have been around 20 years ago and I was trying to solve tricky math problems. But this is something that I think Microsoft has come a long way, and I'm so glad that they are including this within their applications. But you are now able to solve complex math problems all within OneNote. So this is going to be on the Draw tab that you have an option to choose math, and then you're able to use your lasso tool to draw a circle around the equation, then select math, and that's going to open up the Math Assistant pane. So here's solving the equation. So here you can tell it what you want to do. Like this is how smart it is that it detected it's going to give you the available actions, and then it's going to ask you to review the solution that OneNote has displayed here. And then you can also go through and kind of have it show steps. So hopefully this doesn't lead to anybody cheating on their homework, but um, steps for completing the square. And then it shows and they really break it down and explain like, here's how we got there. So I thought that was pretty cool. You can also use the immersive reader to have it read the solution steps out loud to you. And you have a couple of different options with that too. So if you want to have a female read it to you, you can do that, or a male. I think those are the only two options. But it is nice to have the immersive reader available so you can be hands-free and have the program read it to you. And that's not just for the math portion of OneNote, that's for anything within OneNote. Like if you have a whole page of notes and you want it to read to you, it can do that. Use OneNote to insert printouts of Word documents and PDFs. So the important thing to point out here is if you decide to use this, and all you have to do is just go to Insert and Printout, you are able to right on top of the document, like the document is not actually embedded within OneNote that you can go through and physically change things on the document. This is just going to be a great place to, again, put your notes. So like here they highlighted a section and then they also wrote key on it with an exclamation mark. So that's just kind of a way to add notes to an already created document. Recover deleted notes. So I know at least in my world, like this would probably happen that I would delete something that I actually need. So if you go to the View tab and then go to deleted notes, that's going to give you an option of all your deleted notes. And then you can just tap and hold whatever you need to restore and just click on Restore To, and then select the notebook section that you need to add it back to. All right, well, I think that's it for just kind of our intro to OneNote and just kind of some tips and tricks for you guys. Are there any other questions about using it? Good to go? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Our next webinar is going to be September 9th at 1 o'clock, and we're going to be talking about SharePoint, OneDrive, and Teams. So thank you so much for joining. I hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.